CountryWide CONNECT with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.
Chief Executive of Agritech New Zealand, Brendan O'Connell. Brendan, g'day, mate.
G'day.
Officially welcome.
Good man.
Thanks for doing the intro for me. I really appreciated that, and interested in your thoughts there on Miles. But Agritech New Zealand, what is it first and foremost?
So we're a membership association, an industry association that's driven by a membership. We've got about 160 members that are all interested in what Agritech means in and from New Zealand. So we're looking at how New Zealand could be more prosperous through Agritech. So you look across our membership, over those 160 organizations, over about 52% of them are the technology companies. So they could be early stage businesses up to the large companies, the Gallaghers, the LICs, the Halters, the Levnos, the Figures, and all of those ones. And then a whole pile of names that you haven't heard of yet, or might not have heard a lot about, the Scannables, the Bovonics, and a whole pile of other companies coming through. So all of the tech companies.
Probably some of the companies that are here today.
Several of them are here. You'll be speaking with George from Ruminant Biotech later on. And so, yeah, a lot of them are in the room here, and a lot of their capabilities and their products are being talked about by people here.
So what do they get out of their membership of Agritech New Zealand? Why would I join if I was an Agritech company? What am I going to get out of that?
So everybody who's joining is understanding that there's a team game to be played. While we have individual businesses, investments that need to be made, technologies that the large co-ops want to see because they're our members as well, pathways to market for our research because BSI and the universities are members as well. So it's a complete ecosystem representation. And what we're sort of acknowledging is that to grow the sector and to really contribute to a knowledge economy for New Zealand, that takes some collective action. There's all a pile of individuals need to be really good at what it is. They need to form their partnerships and do that. That's all separate. But there's some collective work to do, some shared work to do to really lift the game for all of us.
So networking from at a company level, effectively.
Yeah, right? We talk about connecting, promoting, and advancing the sector. So by connecting, the actual work that we do is we create opportunities and forums for different groups of people to come together and get challenged by ideas and then network and get to know each other.
So,
yep.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted there. Talk to me about the New Zealand agri-tech sector, because I think intrinsically we all know that we do have an agri-tech sector, but I don't think we fully realise just how big it is and the potential of it. What do you make? Talk to me about that.
So the last time it was officially measured was back in 2021. It was 1.9 billion, and it was growing at a rate of about 7 or 8% compound annual growth rates. We know now from discussions from ourselves and from discussions with MB and MPI and others that it's closer to 3 billion today, and that's been increasing levels of growth rates. So we know from individual companies we're seeing compound annual growth rates in the high teens. What that actually means is that by 2040, Agritech will be bigger for New Zealand than dairy is for it today. It's a whole new driver of the New Zealand economy that's already growing and is naturally happening in itself. But if we look at some of the new relationships and the new infrastructures of what that means, because we're sort of moving out of Agritech being the shiny things type discussion to actually Agritech is the core driver of everything we're talking about today and more, and it becomes an opportunity for New Zealand, effectively another vertical from primary industry.
Yeah.
So we talk about dairy, we talk about hort, we talk about seafood, and Agritech is another vertical, and it can be 30 billion by 2040.
So, I mean, obviously the poster child, kind of the one that's getting all the headlines at the moment, and headlines yesterday is Halter, right? And we know they're now a multi-billion company.
Yeah, in venture terms, they're being talked about. They are, and they're doing all the work to justify that. They've got rates of growth and rates of retention, and they're putting really good money to that. So brilliant. I look at Halter doing that, and I go, and then I look at other players than our ecosystem like Gallagher. The language I've been using here today is New Zealand is producing both the Apple operating system and the Android operating system for agriculture, with the options that we're creating. And so, Halter's doing brilliant work, and Gallagher and many other players are doing brilliant work as well.
One of the things that New Zealand Ag's always been famous for, and it's become into our psyche, is the number 8 mentality, number 8 one mentality. You've got some thoughts about that, though. Share that with us.
Yeah. So I guess any strength can become a weakness, you know, and you know, and so when I think of the number 8 wire piece, you know, the idea, you know, being innovative, you know, being tenacious, those are really positive things, and they sort of fit in the Kiwi psyche really well, and particularly come to life in sort of agriculture. But just making do with what's in front of you is a very limiting, constraint-based type of growing. I think we need to be a lot more ambitious and a lot more professional in what we can achieve.
Making do with what's in front of you, like adapting or improving on something already there. Is that what you're meaning, or what do you mean by that exactly?
Looking, you know, just looking around, I'm going to make do with just what I've got already. I'm going to slap it together to bring this new solution. You know, there's innovation in that, and there's something positive in that, but it's also limiting because you can't scale that up. You can't take that anywhere. And so, you know, understanding that there are components, that there are technology stacks, that there are different ways of doing things. And if you do it really well and really properly with a global market in mind, then you can scale it up. And it's that transition to just getting by within our own system but adding to that the fact that we can do a lot more and scale it up. So it's trying to get the balance right to being innovative but ambitious rather than being innovative to get by.
We've always New Zealand Ag's always done that in certain ways, and think back to refrigeration and challenges that we've got through generally by not having any other choice. You know, like we're at the bottom of the world.
The mother of invention.
Yeah, well, necessity is mother of invention. But we're talking about more than just necessity, though, aren't we? Here, you're not just talking about necessity.
I think we're talking about necessity.
Right, we are.
Because I think it's necessary that New Zealand has more options than just being a farm and a place to visit. You know, that we need to be creating a knowledge economy. We need our technology businesses that have a different export footprint. Some people call them weightless technologies. They're not quite weightless, but you know, New Zealand needs other options, and that means growing a knowledge economy. Now, what better way to grow a knowledge economy as one of the verticals of that is basing it on the knowledge that we have around agriculture. Now, that's what Agritech is, because Agritech is about the IP, the knowledge, and the systems that we can apply and use here to make our primary industries more resilient and more productive and all of those things, but can also create impact globally and create wealth for New Zealand and impact for New Zealand by being another export class.
Okay. What about the New Zealand farmers adopting? What do you make? You've said that we've got, I was surprised at this, we're reasonably high early adopters on things. Is that what we're seeing? Is that still the case?
Yeah, we did some work back in 2022, which still applies because it's, you know, just real core principle stuff. And we looked at, you know, sort of the trailblazers or the early adopters was sort of 12% of the population across dairy, red meat, horticulture, and arable were the sort of the sectors that we looked at. And across each, slight variances across some of those sectors, but overall it was 12%. Now, if you're looking at technology adoption in any other sector in any other place, you expect early adopters to be about 5% of the population. So to see 12% reliably turning up there is a marker of one of the strengths and one of the advantages that New Zealand has. And that's there because, you know, we have very professionally minded farmers. You know, we have who are very pragmatic and open to doing things better. So that is definitely an asset. We look at global rates of adoption and global rates of growth of Agritech. You know, we're still up there, but the rest of the world is definitely catching up as well.
It reminds me of a quote, actually, one of my favourite quotes from Lord Rutherford back in the day, relative of mine. He said famously that we asked about how he got or how he learnt. He said, well, actually, we didn't have a lot of money, so we had to think.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know, and
that's definitely the positive side.
Paraphrase, but yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think, I mean, again, when I look at the quality of agri-tech companies coming out of New Zealand and the global impact they're having, I think they're relaying, that's the positive side of the number 8 wire piece. You know, we don't just throw money at things because we don't have the money to throw at it. So we've had to be really inventive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Brendan, really appreciate your time, mate. Thank you so much. Looking forward to catching up again. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Good man,
and we will be back in touch.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.